Welcome back to Inside City Hall. We're going to talk now about the race for Queens Borough President. Queens voters will head to the polls for a special election on March 24th, casting ballots for the seat vacated by Melinda Katz, who was sworn in on January 1st as the borough's new district attorney. We've been introducing you to some of the candidates in this crowded race. Tonight, I'm joined by another one of them. He is Queens City Council Member Costa Constantinides. He's here to talk about his campaign. He has represented parts of Northwest Queens since 2014. Welcome. Good to see you. Congratulations. I know this is a big move for you.
Errol, thank you very much. Thanks for having me on again.
Yeah. What is the case for Costa Constantinides?
So by every metric, we've recognized that we have 10 years. The next 10 years, what happens in combating climate change will determine what happens over the next 100. And Queens residents being the most vulnerable to climate change, as we've already seen with Hurricane Sandy, we need bold ideas. So we need to have a deputy borough president for sustainability. We need to solarize and green roof and lead on renewable energy internationally. We need to have someone that's going to create good union jobs. By doing all of this, we can create good jobs for the 21st century and also investing in our education system to prepare our young people for those jobs. So it's investing in science, STEM, technology, solar in the schools, as I talked about before, and then having a transit network. The borough president also is a county executive. So fighting for better transit in the borough of Queens, fighting for an office of diversity and outreach that, reaching all of our diverse neighbors. Queens Boulevard shouldn't be the center of the universe. In the borough of Queens, we should have satellite offices like they do in Manhattan to make sure that the staff, the 60+ staff of the borough president in our neighborhoods, doing the outreach that's necessary to make sure every resident knows who their borough president is and how they can help them.
Okay. Sounds very ambitious. There are some parts of it that you can do without any changes in law or anything else, and there are some others that would sort of redefine and perhaps even require legal changes to implement them. The stuff that you can do, like putting solar panels on the Queens Borough President's office, that's something that you can just do. I'm intrigued, though, by this idea that you think that our borough presidents, our 5 borough presidents, should have appointees to the MTA board. And there's actually some logic behind that.
Well, yeah, I mean, you look at Queens, which would be, by any standard, the 4th or 5th largest city in the country, has not a vote in how our mass transit system works. We have the MTA bus redesign that was just put out on the day before the 2019 ended. And there are a lot of residents who feel that algorithms in Manhattan shouldn't be determining the public transit in Queens. Putnam County, which has a 1/4 of a vote, is like half of my council district.
Well, I mean, do you feel that the mayor is not adequately representing you? I think he has, like, what, 5 votes or something?
Well, he has 4 votes, but I think there's no one whose job it is to draw a line around their borough and say, we need to make sure that who's standing up for the borough of Queens, our 2.3 million residents. Nassau, Suffolk County, Westchester County has a full vote on the board, and they're doing that, and they're advocating for their residents. As county executive of Queens, and every borough president should have that same responsibility and the same opportunity to protect their residents, especially when we talk about $1 billion in expenditures on capital, on service. We need to make sure that we're fighting for Queens residents every day.
Tell me where you are on the proposal to rebuild the Queens House of Detention in Kew Gardens as part of the effort to close Rikers. And then you have an interesting proposal on what to do with Rikers if and when it does get closed.
I mean, Rikers Island had to close. The Lippman Commission called it a stain on our city's history, and rightfully so. The buildings themselves are crumbling and are insufficient, and the island is uninhabitable. You look at every, methane leaks and so on. We need to right a lot of the wrongs that Rikers Island caused. And
rebuilding Queens, the Queens House will do that?
Well, by doing that, I took a lot of guidance from people like Vidal Guzman and Kendra Clark, who were formerly incarcerated, and talked about how we need to build a detention center that was humane and that was something of the 21st century, because we are going to have some individuals who are remanded, and we need to make sure it's done so in a way that's humane and treats people with the respect that they need. But then Rikers Island itself, you look at it and say, what can we do there that can right the wrongs of communities that have been over-policed and mass incarcerated? And many of those same communities are environmental justice neighborhoods, communities of color, with power plants, with asthma rates that are through the roof. I have a plan that would have a renewable Rikers Island, solar arrays, with battery storage that could replace 75% of the power plants that have opened in the last 20 years. And those happen to be in Queens, next to the Queensbridge houses, the Ravenswood houses, and the Astoria houses. For too long, they were promised those plants were only going to be open for 3 years. They've been open more than 18. They're open. They're old enough to vote now. You know, it's time for a change. It's time to a transition to a renewable future that I think, as borough president, I would focus on.
Well, let's talk politics for a minute. I read that you did not seek the endorsement of the Queens Democratic Organization. Was that a position from way back, or was it more like you saw it wasn't going to go your way and you just said, okay, I don't want the endorsement anyway?
No, look, I mean, I think, you know, it's time to have a conversation. The voters are the ones who decide, right? I think at the end of the day, we need to be having conversations. How do we bring people in? How do we make sure they're part of the process that's open and transparent and that can be empowering? You know, leaders lead by empowering others. So I'm bringing this case to the voters of Queens, and I'm proud of the race that we've run so far, and I think we're going to continue to have these robust conversations in every community on how the borough president's office can improve their lives.
Okay, well, so tell me your path to victory. How do you put it together?
I think we're going to be out there talking about the issues that matter, whether it's fighting climate change and improving, making Queens the center of the universe when it comes to renewable energy, whether it's improving our local schools by investing in science, technology, and math, STEM, creating good union jobs. And fighting, some of the impacts that our transit system is not working for us. We need to have a system that works. Those issues resonate with every Queens resident. So we're going to be out there knocking doors. I knocked 12,000 doors in my first race.
Oh, boy. I'm
ready to knock out a whole bunch of more doors and get out the message and continue to work hard.
Okay. The website, if people want to find out more?
They can go to votecosta.com. That's my last name is way too long. But look forward to seeing it.
All right. Thanks for coming by. That's going to do it for tonight's show. Be sure to join us tomorrow night when I'll be joined by New York Junior Senator Kirsten Gillibrand. Till then, thanks for watching and have a great evening. We'll see you next time inside City Hall.